People wanting to come back. Some fresh news yesterday. Six, did you hear about this? Oscar De La Hoya, 44 years old. He comes on his radio show with Dash Radio, and he says, hey, I've been training in secret for 5 months. I want one fight and one fight only. Conor McGregor, UFC guy. Come over and let's do boxing. McGregor hasn't answered yet, but Oscar, 44 years old, he says, I'm still competitive, right? I still got the urges to do it. And you know what? People going to take shots at you on Twitter. I don't really do that. Well, one, because I write for Ring website and he owns it, and it's not for me to say. I don't bite the hand that feeds, but I'm going to tell all you listeners that there's a bias element, right? I'm not going to bite the hand that feeds you. I'm going to leave that for other people to say. I'm going to present the story, and if you want to opine like that, I ain't going to shut you up, of course. But Oscar says, I'm still fast, I'm still strong, and I want to do it again. And also, I got to tell you this. The older I get, the less willing I am to shit on a guy for doing that, because I realize we got one life. We got one life to live as far as I know. If you want to do that, bro, that's on you. You want to do that? You want to go that route? Who am I to say? Go. And I don't know. It might be tougher than you think, because at 44, we ain't the same we was at 34 or 24. But maybe you're going to have to find that out the hard way, as most of us, how we learn lessons in life. We learn them the hard way.
You're absolutely right, because the fact of the matter is that, that body don't recover that fast. So you want to take the unnecessary licks, especially when you don't need the money.
I got another one. I bet you don't know this one. Larry Holmes wants to fight again.
What?
Eric Bentley over there rolled his eyes a little bit. Yeah, he called out. You know who he called out?
Who?
George Foreman. He says, let's do it again. You ducked me back in the day.
Well, okay, that wouldn't be bad.
That wouldn't be bad?
Not for him. Neither him. The fact that he know George's knees hurt. that's the reason he called it George. I thought you get ready to call somebody out.
No. Can I tell you something else? George been trimming down. George been locking up the fridge. He's lost like 40 pounds. Dude, he looks good.
He called out Steven Seagal recently.
Yeah, he did. Steven Seagal, the Hollywood, the actor. George wanted to do that. I got a little news break info for you. So I texted George. I said, George, you aware of this call out from, what's his name now? Larry Holmes. Let me find the text. I sent him the clip. George wrote back. He said, Woods, outstanding. But Larry Holmes might be too behind the times to realize two boxers facing off is out of style. Mixing the sports brings the rain now. Things change. G. And I said, George, I don't disagree with you. And he wrote back, God bless. But he called out Steven Seagal because he realized there would be an element of novelty to it, as there was with Mayweather against McGregor, an element of novelty to it. And that's another thing that I don't shit on, because I realize people been there and done that. We've been doing a lot of the same stuff for a lot of decades now. And if the young people want to see something different and fresh and a little bit weird, I got to go with the flow and of the times. And as long as it's not too crazy and weird, I'm going to go with it. So I went with Mayweather against McGregor. A lot of people made a lot of money. I went and I said, I just hope it's a decent fight to watch. And I thought it was. Did you watch that fight? What'd you think of it?
I was there. And it was a good fight. It was a good fight. Because the fact of the matter, the guy fought good to that like the acid built up in his shoulder. He could get his hands up. But I'm saying it was a good fight.
It was, Evander. I thought it was. I'm just keeping it real here. I'm not such a purist that like, oh no, you can't give him that 50th win. It was an okay fight.
It was decent. It was decent, and Floyd fought him different. That's my first time I've ever seen Floyd put his hands up and get close to a guy just to get him.
Was he selling it, or is that insane?
Well, I don't know. The point of the matter, when you never seen a guy fight like that anyway. So the whole big thing is that he was cautious. he ain't want to get caught with a big shot right away. Now, because when you find a guy who don't know how to box, you don't know what he's gonna do, and that's the worst thing about boxing somebody who don't have no experience.
We talked about this a few years ago, like 6 years ago or something. Maybe you were with the big Chinese guy or something, and you were saying fighting those guys. Maybe we were talking about John Ruiz, who was like awkward and stuff.
Wait,
that's I think that's what it was. That's a hard fight because those guys are like doing crazy stuff.
Because if they don't know what they're doing, you ain't gonna be able to catch up to it.
If they don't know what they're doing, you ain't gonna know what they're doing.
Exactly.